This is the best SB Dunk Low you can buy right now. I know that is a big statement, but look at the quality, the craftsmanship, the materials. You'd be hard pressed to find something better. I'd go as far as saying, even if you go back to the start of the SB line, you probably won't find anything to match this sneaker. But there's only one issue here. This shoe isn't made by Nike. Well, not fully made by Nike. It's made by Shoe Surgeon. I'm sure you know who he is, but if you don't, he is a bit of a creative visionary that provides his clients with recreations and original versions of shoes. He is most known for his use of exotic materials that transform an ordinary sneaker into something that looks like wearable art. That leads to another set of questions and concerns considering the litigious warpath Nike has been on lately. I'm going to attempt to explain why Nike is doing what they are doing and how someone like Shoe Surgeon exists outside those lines. But first, let's give these babies a proper unboxing. So let's talk about it. Why is it okay for Shoe Surgeon to make these sneakers, but someone like Warren Lotus or John Geiger gets the wrath of Nike unleashed upon them? The simplest answer is that Shoe Surgeon sells a service, and Lotus and Geiger were selling goods. Surgeon, like Mosh Customs, like Kickstradamus and other artists, are selling you, whether you are a sneakerhead and athlete, a service. They're not selling you a thing per se, even though you do receive a thing at the end of the service. Rather, they are selling you their expertise in turning that thing you have into that thing you want. So, as an example, let's use one of my favorite custom sneakers ever made, the Devastator LeBron 10. It's based on the iconic Transformers Big Bad that the Constructicons formed via bad animations and unintentionally funny dialogue.
Constructicons merge into Devastator!
Ah, the 80s, what a time. Anyways, Mosh used a Nike ID LeBron 10 for the Devastator themed sneaker. If a fan wanted the same design, that person would be paying for Mosh's expertise in painting and handcrafted materials in order to make the transformation happen. I could be misremembering Mosh's process back in the days, but I think you actually had to physically ship the shoe to him in order to have it customized. And after some indeterminate amount of time, Mosh sends the shoe back, and now it looks like something that could have easily been a collab if Nike and Hasbro were working together at the time. And side note, Nike and Hasbro have worked together on a number of projects through the years, most notably on a pair of Calvin Johnson trainers styled after his nickname, Megatron, which I don't have. Now, why they never made the LeBron 10 Devastator into more than just a one-off is beyond me, but let's get on the customs. So because they provided a pair of sneakers of their own and gave them to Mosh to turn their inspiration to life, that's within their fair use doctrine. Now, I need to state this because I'm not a lawyer, but my interpretation is that the fair use doctrine is a defense that allows an infringer, in this case, the person who asked Mosh to turn their LeBron 10s into Devastator shoes, to make limited or transformative use of their original author's work without asking permission. Without the fair use doctrine, that's copyright infringement. Nike could try to bring the hammer down on such an example, but because the response was so overwhelmingly positive for the customs, it would feel like raining on a parade that just started. And as the years have gone by, we have seen works by Mosh and Shoe Surgeon on the feet of celebrities and athletes. Those are all authentic sneakers and cleats made by Nike, made by Adidas, or made by Under Armour, etc. They have just been altered. And none of these brands have ever come after Mosh or Surgeon. Maybe there were some stern warnings behind the scenes or whatnot, but it seems like they are in the clear if they just keep on doing what they are doing. When Surgeon sells his service, he makes it crystal clear in the description that what he is doing is not selling you a sneaker, but rather the use of his expertise to turn your sneaker into whatever your imagination says. And if by chance you do not have, say, a pair of Jordan 1s to turn into custom Metal Gear Solid sneakers with actual snakeskin and the smell of burnt cigarettes, Surgeon adds adds a sourcing fee and they will find the shoe and buy it on your behalf. So even though they found the shoes and bought it, it's still your money. So therefore, it's your shoes. They are still not selling you shoes, but rather a service that also happens to include finding the shoes you need to make the project happen. It's like going to a store that has a you buy, we fry section. Sure, you can buy the fresh fish there at the store and take it home to cook it yourself, but why do that when they can fry it for you right there while you shop around? Just take a number and come back. But what did Lotus, Geiger, and others do to get Big Brother to descend upon their works and shut them down? Well, they decided to go big. You see, when Shoe Surgeon or Moz create custom sneakers, they are often one of a kind or extremely limited. Even if they sell their service for thousands of dollars, the actual number of sneakers that are customized is very low. It's not worth it to Nike, and like I mentioned earlier, the positive PR hit that they get from a star athlete wearing creations brought to life by Surgeon is worth more in goodwill than in money they would supposedly lose in letting this slide. Take a recent Surgeon project, the $250,000 custom Air Jordan 1s he made for PJ Tucker for the NBA Finals this past season. PJ commissioned Surgeon, paid the sourcing fee, or provided him with the J's to make the diamond encrusted piece, which was a joint effort with Jason of Beverly Hills. It created a lot of buzz during the finals. Even finals MVP and guy who made Sprite and lemonade a thing again, Giannis Antetokounmpo, was shocked at PJ's Jordans. Now imagine if that story wasn't the lighthearted bit of brevity that pushed the culture, but rather one of petty resentment if Nike had told PJ to not wear them or even have them destroyed while also pursuing legal action with Surgeon. Some things are just better left alone. And that's where Lotus and Geiger come in, because Nike couldn't leave them alone. In 2020, Warren Lotus opened up pre-orders for his interpretation of the Nike SB Dunk. He was going to release them in colorways that many sneakerheads would be familiar with, such as Heineken and the Pigeons. In fact, Jeff Staple gave the project his blessing. These are not stripped down authentic dunks that were rebuilt. No, these are sneakers built from scratch by another company not named Nike, but are designed to look like SB Dunks, with the minor difference being the Jason Voorhees looking character on the slightly altered swoosh. These were not one-offs. These were going to be sold for a lot of money and produced in the hundreds, if not thousands. Nike would sue Lotus and La La Land, the production company behind the sneakers. Nike claims this causes confusion in the marketplace and was going to affect their bottom line if they allowed this and other bootleg sneakers to happen. This year, Nike went after 600 companies of varying sizes that were selling bootlegs like Lotus, including Geiger. The controversial figure is no stranger to selling sneakers. In fact, Geiger has sold sneakers he designed himself and even teamed up with Shoe Surgeon on the misplaced checked Air Force Ones. But when he decided to ape the look and feel of the Nike Air Force One low, including copying the famous linen color scheme and replacing the swoosh with his own stylized take, that's when Nike could not sit idly by. His GF01s, which, you know, points for even making the name something people can dunk on, were dead ringers for Air Force Ones. In fact, people who did not know better would think that this was a collaboration with Nike. And maybe Nike was not pleased with Geiger and they knew someone had to be made an example of. Either way, Nike has to take the steps shutting down Geiger's efforts. But Geiger appears to be fighting back as we speak. So here's what it boils down to. It seems that if Lotus and Nike had kept the number of sneakers made to a small amount, there's a chance Nike doesn't even bother taking them down. It's when they got ambitious and thought they could sell the shoes in bigger numbers and think Nike wouldn't come knocking. Once you start selling sneakers you cobbled together or hired a production company to mass produce them and they look like Dunks or Air Force Ones, you better believe Nike will come after you. It's different from, say, a pair of sneakers from Shaq or another budget brand that's designed to look like Air Jordan 3s are sold at Kmart or Walmart. Yeah, those shoes are made in the thousands and Nike can and maybe should go after them, but again, it comes down to optics. Imagine if the headlines on Twitter were Nike leaves kids shoeless because they shut down budget brands like Shaq, or now hoping that they will buy sneakers that cost more than their entire budget. Or what if Adidas decided to clamp down on all of those bootleg Yeezy 350s that are found in mall kiosks everywhere? Well, they actually did kind of go after those fake Yeezy resellers in 2018, and just recently, Kanye himself sued Walmart over third-party sellers offering fake Yeezy foam runners on their site, but again, they were fake versions of the real thing. It doesn't seem like Yeezy's reputation has been harmed over it, so it's different approaches for different brands, and at the end of the day, Nike is within their right to go after whomever they choose to do so, and it's up to the makers of these shoes with ambiguous legalities to either adapt or fight the swoosh. It's one thing to take a Nike shoe you purchased and transform it into something else. It's another thing entirely to create something new that looks like an existing product, and that can cause confusion in the marketplace. Anyway, those are my thoughts. As for this sneaker, they officially go on sale in the near future. Make sure you hit up Shoe Surgeon on Instagram or go to his website to find out more details. But again, this is the best Nike SB Dunk Low quality and material wise that you can get right now. Shout out to Shoe Surgeon. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. I'm Jacques Slade, and I'll see you soon. Peace.